Hello, everyone. Welcome to another installment of original interviews. There's no series attached to this, but a while ago, when my friend and singer-songwriter Madison was releasing music, we had her on to talk about certain singles and certain EPs. Now she's released her official full-length album as a legitimate artist. It's called All That I Am. It came out last Friday, April 11th, and it is catching fire. I love the music, independent of my friendship with Madison. And I just think it's such good music. It needs more attention. Madison, thank you for joining me.
Thank
Happy
you so
Monday.
much. It's great to be back here again on
It's
Gabriella channel.
so funny. Today we're talking on the year anniversary of our trip to the Pacific Northwest. You remember how much fun we had? I think it was around the time you were releasing your EP. You were
Or
like,
what?
can we please record, this Bruce Springsteen cover at the park in Seattle? And then you started to have a little audience after the culmination of our hydropower video. That was such a fun trip. We went to so many cool places. It was right after tax day. It was fantastic. So that's also something interesting, but more related to your album. I remember when we were in Alaska in August of 2023 and you had played a sample of what is now Mystery Highway, and we it was perfectly timed with where we were driving. We were driving on Seward Highway coming from Anchorage going south to Kenai Peninsula, where we would do some fishing, some filming, things of that sort for our Alaska mining video. And the backdrop to the song was just beautiful. I remember listening to it. It's emotional, pulls at the heartstrings. And this is not really a love song. This is more like a find your arrow, figure out your direction type of song. And I just loved it when I first heard it. And now listening to the full album several times, if we're being honest, I love it. And and everything is so wonderful. So what was the inspiration? That was kind of long winded, but what was the inspiration behind All That I Am? And now it's out. It's several years in the making. So what are your initial thoughts into releasing it and why did you release it?
Yeah, so we started this process right after I finished The Voice, which was fall of 2022. And a lot of the songs are about just growing up in terms of dating life and then also just myself growing up as a person and coming of age. And you're at this point, or this chapter where I don't know which turn to take and what's the right move. And I think like different eras of my life will have different song topics, but I think this album is special for the debut because it just accurately represents of like everything I was going through. And it was co-produced with Lyra Lynn and Todd Lombardo, which are longtime friends of mine and also just excellent producers. So they helped kind of put together the right songs too. Because I was on the fence of between of do I want to do country or this more Americana indie folksy sound, and it really ended up coming together at its nice own genre, mixed genre crossover blend, which is what I prefer to do, and always known to be outside of the box and think not so cookie cutter. And yeah, Mystery Highway, we got that was the first song that was finished in 2023, and ended up waiting to put the album out till now because I wanted to grow my fan base followership a little more so that there would be ears to hear it and the appetite for people to hear it. And although it's been a long wait, I'm so happy it's out, and I can't wait to hear everybody's feedback on it.
You had some publicity for the album before the release, and I expect more will follow. Like where some of your other songs had been, it took a while for people to catch on. So I think it might take a little time for people to see it. And then, of course, you're still touring with Brent Cobb. So more and more people will be exposed to it. So there are 10 songs, of course. All That I Am is the lead single. It's also the namesake album. Of course, Mystery Highway. Would you say that All That I Am is your favorite song? I like all the songs for different reasons. And I think a lot of the listeners and people who've grown to your fans, to become your fans rather, appreciate all the songs. Like you can't make a bad song. That's my opinion. But what is a standout song for you and why?
Yeah, it definitely is the title track, which normally I guess that should be everyone's favorite song should be either the title track when you're making the album or the underrated song. But I'd say All That I Am is my favorite because it I rarely do these upbeat kind of indie rocker songs, and I want to dive more into that realm too. Is it's just so fun to sing and has that gritty edge that I love. But people also love like the softer folksy side, and I need to learn how to love that part too. So if I had to choose an underrated one, it'd be So Close to Forever at the end of the album, because that one just yeah, not only is the lyrics so emotional, but the chords are really interesting, and switches from major to minor chords. So it makes for an interesting song too.
I also think a breakout song is Gypsy Wings, which Katie Pavlich, Fox News contributor, town hall editor, played. We were surprised to see that. I was watching the five. I had to step away from her segment, and then I get a text from you saying, like, oh, someone told me that Katie played this. And then I asked my friend Nick Fondacaro, who's really good at grabbing these clips, and I'm like, can you find the clip that people are referencing? Because I was watching, I missed it. And that even on like YouTube, you had people say, hey, I heard your song on the five on FNC, which is one of the most watched TV programs in the country. And Katie has always been very generous about playing your music. So we thank Katie if she's
Yeah,
watching this
like
for
eight.
that. But people like Gypsy Wings too. And I love it, has like this ethereal, folksy kind of like spread your wings, be adventurous, but you know, stay grounded at the same time. If you feel kind of restless and you need to escape. And I think you know a lot of us want to do that. You know, it's okay to travel, it's okay to kind of get out of your comfort zone, and when things get hectic in life, you need to spread your wings, not like aimlessly where you have no direction, but it can be directioned, kind of travel, direction, kind of adventure. So people who think that it's like there's no purpose to it, of course there is purpose to everything.
Right. That's why very well said.
And also to your collaborators, you were talking about Todd Lombardo. So he's also produced, I was looking over music for most recently Gwen Stefani's Bouquet album. He's also been collaborated with Casey Musgraves. I forget if it was Golden Hour or any of the more recent ones. So you've worked with some really cool people, collaborators. Lyra Lynn is, of course, a very talented singer, songwriter as well. I don't know if many people who follow mainstream country know who she is, but I've gotten to get a little familiar with her music since being friends with you. But yeah, but Todd Lombardo, of course, like collaborating with those artists. So people will hear kind of similarities in terms of the sound, but of course, these are all your own unique songs. You're not copying anyone. Actually, of the 10 songs, I forgot that No Rain is, I didn't know that that's the title of the song, but I know what the tune is and I know the lyrics. I didn't realize that was the title. So you did a cover, but
Yes.
you have 9 original songs.
Yep.
So you always like incorporating a cover into any of your EPs.
Yeah, I
And
think I want to keep doing that. I did that last time with Dancing in the Dark, Bruce Springsteen, and I typically always lean towards the 70s era, but this one was a 90s song that we chose to do, being born in the 90s. And the lyrics of this song, I wanted to choose a cover that had some meaning to fit with the album. I didn't want just a party cover.
Mhm.
Uh, and so if you go back and listen to the lyrics, it was such an anthem back then, but like I love how, what's the word, juxtaposition, where the lyrics are sad but the beat is happy. Talking about I just want to stay inside and feel sad while it's
Only when
uh,
it rains,
yeah.
not when it's sunny and shining.
Uh,
But I
but
I know I send you a lot of stuff to cover. I'm like, Madison, your voice on this would
I
be
know.
fantastic. I feel like, you know, I hope I don't inundate you with that, but I feel like certain covers would really like encapsulate your voice well. And I love that you covered a while ago, maybe a month or two ago, you covered Snow by Red Hot Chili Peppers. I was like, oh my gosh, I should have sent this to her. And that was my warm-up song for tennis, fun fact, when I used to play competitive high school tennis. And I love that Danny California album. It was a really great one of my favorites from 2004, long time ago, over 20 years ago. But Snow Heyo is a great song. I know some people are like, what are the lyrics? Why are they so confusing? They're always singing. There's nothing cohesive about it. And I'm like, okay, sure. But it's very catchy and interesting. But I used to use that for a tennis warm up song. But yeah, you bring life to certain covers. And when you covered Morgan Wallen's I Deserve a Drink, a lot of people thought that was your original song. That's how good your variation or your version of the song was, that people thought it was automatically yours and not his.
Easy. But I guess that should be the point with covers, to not emulate the artist, but put your own spin.
And more to the songs that you released, it were there any songs that you wished did you cover rather more songs, you cut more songs but you didn't include them in the album, you're maybe going to save it for future use? Do you have any songs that could have made the album but didn't? You don't have to say what kind of songs or what the names are, but were there any that you cut out and thought, okay, maybe hold on to this rather for a future project? Or I don't want this doesn't jive well with my sound.
Yeah, it's probably I would bring in songs that felt too country, or like that felt too, that they should stay in the acoustic old country sound, and they shouldn't be produced out like the way this album was. And if anything, I was trying to get more songs that were like the first four, like more upbeat, bluesy rock. But I don't know, it's hard to write like just good songs. Like, just being honest, like even just getting 10 songs, like getting the best work you can do and pushing yourself for like a whole year straight of just getting song after song, it's a lot of work. And so no, I don't think I had too many left over that I was like, oh, it doesn't fit. I don't have the problem of some people like Morgan Wallen to have everyone pitching to them. Here's 50 songs to choose from. But I think I wrote the storyline. Like, we paid attention to the track listing and made sure everything made sense and flowed like a real album, because people have kind of lost that art now where things are just thrown together randomly and different producers and different sounds and themes. It's just not a project. So I was like very happy that this first album was really well thought out and um, yeah, perfect for the fans to have something that was a lot of work put into. It wasn't just carelessly put out. And I wanted a project like this to show that I'm not just like a TikTok artist, that this is a real deal. And someday I'll get vinyls made, and someday I'll figure out how to tour more as my own artist. But this is the first beginning.
That day will come, and you actually are doing it right now. I want you to speak to the tour with Brent Cobb and then some of the stops you have coming up. Of course, I would love you to come perform in Virginia more. It's just a matter of finding a venue and an artist you can open for, but that's always challenging. But you so far have kind of a tour assembled. How many more tour dates do you have with Brent Cobb? How has that experience been? It's really nice that he's taken you under his wing.
Oh yeah.
But speak to that and what touring is like.
Yeah, we've got 3 shows coming up in May, and he's just the most stand up guy, like, and nice that he was able to like invite me on his tour, because a lot of the time it's really hard and there's a lot of competition to try to get on these people's tours. And so the fact that he did that as a friend, and because he liked my music and liked me as a person, that means the world. And I've been able to sell merch and make new fans at these shows, and people wanting your autographs and stuff that I just would not have gotten that opportunity if I'm just at home all the time just posting online, which has worked for me. But aside from that, making friends with artists has been the biggest help. Like, this gentleman named Red Shahan has a festival called Caveman Fest in Denver area, and so we'll be able to play that in August. That's a fun one-off festival we're doing. And then other than that, I've learned to figure out how to write my own booking emails and like figure out which venues I can play solo or duo and keep it small to not get all these expenses and stuff. But touring is a whole different animal, I guess, and it requires strategy. So I'm not just zip zapping in random places, but would love to make it out to Virginia, and I'll be going to Pennsylvania in May and August too. So I gotta come out to y'all's neck of the woods.
You do. And my friends who own Redhead Bay Cafe in Virginia Beach area do want to have you, and they can promise a lot of people. They usually deliver. Since they're very plugged in, it's a very popular joint, a brunch spot in that region. Even though it is very rural, they get a lot of people to come. So hopefully Caitlin can make something work, and maybe in August we'll be able to see you there. But you also have a song with Brent Cobb too, and that's probably why he brought you in on the tour, because you guys collaborated on that really nice song called Nobody Knows Your Love. And it's resonated with a lot of people. It got a lot of praise from the Tennessean and I think a couple other publications, music reporters, who had said like it's a beautiful song, it's composed really well, and you got a lot of praise with that. So that was a really strategic, good collaboration you did, and it's nice that he's helping to amplify you as well.
It's definitely like when I was choosing which guy to ask for this duet, I wanted someone that was on brand, I guess, with what I was trying to do. So a lot of the guys in Nashville are either like too country or too rock or too indie, but Brent kind of touches all three of those and has the perfect like chill attitude, not try hard vibe that is why everybody loves him, why he's so popular, I think.
Yeah, and it's important to have a collaborator across different spanses that meshes with you well. And that's why we work so well together when we make our video series, which is going to be a little bit reborn, a little bit renamed, but we're still going to have, we can't wait to announce kind of the new era of our conservation video series with CFACT. So hopefully we'll get an update there. But I mean, musically too, you know, you do have to have someone, from my understanding, that jives with you. You can't just like conveniently choose someone because they may have some more influence or they may have some more followers, subscribers. If it's very expedient and not meaningful, the success of that song would be short lived. And same with any other creative projects. If you can't work well with the person, it's going to be really difficult for you to produce content, to travel together, to learn about, you know, each other's mannerisms and habits. And that's why we've become really good friends because like I've rubbed off on you, you've rubbed off on me. Like you helped me make our video series really well. You've taught me how to be a better speaker. I try to give you direction about different things. And I bet you that that same collaboration you've had with Brent, excuse me, has helped you to become even more stylistically and musically inclined too. So like he's more experienced, he's traveled, he's recorded. So he's probably imparted some wisdom on you too. So like that's kind of, I guess, a benefit of those collaborations too.
Yes, definitely.
What else that we have not talked about would you like to get out there about the album? Any takeaways from the album, the tour, anything else? For anyone watching, I bet you there are a lot of people who've seen your star start to shine and grow. And I've been happy to bring you into my orbit. Like you can't blame me or attribute me to like helping, but I try to plug you in wherever I can. And it's amazing that some of my friends who are even more influential than me have been able to help amplify you, but a lot of people have seen you through me, but even yourself, like you don't need my help to be successful, but I'm really helpful. I'm really grateful, sorry, that I've been able to help you any way that I can. Cause I feel like, you know, a lot of people who follow me are outdoorsy. They like country music and they recognize talent such as yourself, but you've been able to achieve success even without the help of friends like me. Like you were on The Voice, you went viral, you go viral on your own. You don't need people like me to go viral. But for anyone watching who it was in your shoes and they don't know how to start a musical journey, it's a very saturated industry. What is your advice to people getting out there who want to make albums like you have?
I definitely think it's important to have like an incubation period where you're not so focused on watching what everyone else is doing. Like I remember so many just days in my room where I would just want to play guitar and for the fun of it, you know, and not thinking about what's trending today and how do I copy what so and so's doing with this skit. And sometimes that occupies my mind space too much now, but mostly because it's like becoming a real actual career path versus just like a hobby in high school. But I would try to elongate the non-business side for as long as you can because I think that's what really works. And the moment you do try too hard with making it sell, I think it's not going to work because everything that I've done that has worked has come out of true like just like emotional storytelling or um yeah, just having it be organic. And I think sometimes in Nashville or other music industry cities you can easily watch everyone else thinking too hard and trying too hard and just don't let it rub off on you. That'd be my advice to myself and anyone else out there. But my other words to say would just be thank you to anyone who's sharing and you know commenting. Like that is means everything for an independent artist because when you're making music yourself, there's no one else you know that's a shareholder that's going to try to amplify you except your
Mm-hmm.
fans. So if you don't have the industry backing you, you have to. It's all about the fans. So it's as long as you guys are loving the music, I will keep doing it. And yeah.
Where can everyone listen to this album, download all the songs, support you? Plug all that in, please.
Yes, you can find everything on madisonhughes.com. That's most centrally located. And on my socials, it's Madison Hughes on pretty much every platform. Um, you just type in all that I am, Madison Hughes, and any streaming platform you can listen, download. But vinyls will be coming soon at some point.
Very cool. I am so thrilled for the album. I know it's been years in the making. I think people will catch on a little after the fact. That's just how
Yeah.
success normally is. And it's their loss if they don't catch on. They people are going to catch on. It just takes some time because a lot of music is churned out. Although I thought you chose a great time to release that. I haven't seen any new music so much on April 11th, but it's such a busy, industry, lots going on, hard to keep people's attention. But the album, I think, is a wonderful product. I hope people listen to it. We need good music in this crazy time. We're living in lots of changes in the news cycle, lots of changes in the economy, lots of changes going on, and we just need something consistent like good music to help keep us balanced. And All That I Am by You is a perfect way to have a balance in life. And I think just good road trip music when you're on the plane, when you're working, I think your music jives well with any type of activity. And so I'm wishing you great success as your friend. I got to hear a bit more when you performed at the Natural Life Festival put on by your mom's company. I think people loved the songs then. You got a great crowd reception then. I look forward to hearing about the festival and all your tour dates. And I wish you nothing but success in this. And I know others will catch on too.
Thank you so much, Gabriella.